Welcome back, students. Good morning. Yesterday we started doing the chapter Unit 3, Section B, Boating with Friends. In this, we started studying that it's an extract from the novel Three Men in a Boat by Jairam K. Jairam. And this is an extract about a humorous extract about three friends who were boating over the river Thames. Now, yesterday we studied that all three friends, Jairam, George and Harry, they decided to go for a swim in the early morning in river Thames. But when they saw the biting cold water and the chilly wind, they decided, both Harry and George decided against it. But since it was Jairam's idea, so he went near the bank to just dip his legs into the water. So he was standing on the branch of a tree which was growing near the bank, and the branch was just hanging over the river. So he was Jairam was standing over that branch, and he went near the river. Now let's read further. It was bitterly cold. The wind cut like a knife as he stood on the overhanging branch. Then he started having second thoughts. He would meekly go back into the boat and dress. He decided to risk their jeers, but as he turned, the wicked branch gave way, and he and the towel went in together with a tremendous splash. He was out midstream with a liter of Thames water inside him before he knew what had happened. Now it was biting cold, and the wind was like cutting like knife as he was standing over the overhanging branch of the tree over the river. So as he was standing on that branch, so he had second thoughts. Second thoughts means he changed his mind because of the biting cold water and the biting cold wind. He changed his mind. He decided that he would meekly means silently go back to the boat and dress up for the day. He decided to risk their jeers. Jeers means mocks, fun, because he decided that he would bear his friends' fun. He would accept their mocking comments, but he cannot even dip his legs into the biting cold water. But as he turned, the wicked branch gave way. Gave way means broke. And he, along with the towel, went into the river water with a tremendous splash. He went into the water with a great splash, with a great sound. He was out midstream. Midstream means in the middle of the stream. Now the river flows in layers, in streams. Near the bank it is slower, and in the midstream it's very high tide. So Jairam had fallen into the river in the midstream where the current was very high. And before he knew what had happened, he had swallowed a liter of water inside him. So you can see he was standing on the branch over the river, and as soon as he turned away to go back to the boat, the branch broke away and Jairam went into the river. Now, next page. Hey dude, dude means friend, Jairam has gone in, he heard Harry say as he came blowing to the surface. I didn't think he had have the pluck to do it, did you? Now, Jairam, as he was trying to come up on the surface of the river, he heard Harry saying to George that, hey dude, hey friend, Jairam has gone in. He had jumped into the river. I did not think he had the pluck to do it. Pluck to do it means he had the courage to do it. I didn't think, I had my doubts over him that he had the courage to jump into the river. Did you? Now, did you believe him? Did you think that he had the courage? How is the water? George sang out. Sniggering. Sniggering means laughing. Now, how he asked, George started making fun of Jerome, that how is the water? Lovely. Jerome spluttered back. Spluttered back means shouted in breaks because of the cold. He was shivering because of the biting cold water. You are fools not to come in. I wouldn't have missed the chance for the world. Come on in, try it. Just a wee bit of determination, that's all it takes. But no, nothing could persuade them. So Jerome also started making fun. He in satirical, in a mocking way, he said that the water is lovely, that you are fools, that you are not coming in. It's just a little bit of more determination that is required, and if you will jump, once you will feel cold, and then it will be all right. But nothing, he would say, could persuade them, could change their mind. Jerome was very cold when he got back into the boat, and in his hurry to get his shirt on, accidentally jerked it into the water. It annoyed him all the more because George found it very amusing and guffawed. Guffawed means laughed at him. He started laughing. George started laughing at him. And when Jerome got back on the boat, he was really very cold. And in his hurry to get dressed, he just jerked his shirt so violently that it fell into the river. And it annoyed him more, and he became more angry. He felt more angry because George has started laughing on him. George found it very amusing. You monster! Jerome scolded him. Monster means a very friendly way of calling a friend. You monster, you stupid. Have some pity on me. I am freezing and you are laughing. But George found his protest even more hilarious and laughed hysterically. Jerome had never seen him laugh so wickedly. He lost his temper with him. What a heartless maniac you are, he said. But George only roared louder. So he called him names. He called him monster, that have pity on me. I am biting cold. I am freezing. And instead of helping me, you are laughing at me. But George kept on laughing even more wickedly. And so that's why Jerome had to call him heartless maniac. But George kept on laughing louder and louder. Jerome managed to get the shirt onto the boat hook. Now, he tried to pick up the shirt which had fallen into the river with the help of the boat hook. And howl it means take it out of the water. At that precious moment, he realized that it was not his shirt at all, but George. So at that precious moment, he realized that it was not his shirt that had fallen into the river. It was George's shirt. He had mistaken it for his in a hurry to get dressed. And it was his mistake that he had taken George's shirt as his own in his hurry to get dressed. The humor of the thing struck Jerome for the first time, and he began to laugh. Now, the tables had turned. The humor of the situation was against George. Now it was Jerome's turn to laugh at him, and he started laughing. And the more he looked from George's wet shirt to George, roaring with laughter, the more he was amused. Or the more he looked at the wet shirt and George, the more he laughed. Jerome now laughed so much that he let the shirt fall back into the water again. So he was laughing so much that He let the shirt fall back into the water. "Aren't you going to get it out?" said George between his shrieks. Shrieks means between the cries of laughter. He asked that, "Aren't you going to get it out?" Get it means the shirt out. Jerome could not answer for a while. He was laughing so much. But at last, between his pearls of laughter means he was so laughing so heartily that while he was laughing so heartily, he couldn't answer. And between those moments of laughter, he managed to jerk out. Jerk out means spoke. "It isn't my shirt, it's yours." Then that time he spoke, that is not my shirt, it's yours, George. "What?" He yelled, he shouted. He means George shouted. Springing up means jumping up suddenly. "You silly cuckoo." You silly cuckoo means, have you lost your mind? My most expensive shirt. Why can't you be more careful of what you're doing? Why don't you go and dress on the bank? You are not fit to be on a boat. Give me that boat hook." So now, when George saw that tables have turned, now it was Jerome's turn to laugh at him. George got angry. He could not take the laughter on him. He could not take that anybody should laugh at him. Anybody should make fun of him. He could not take humor in a good sense. But he wanted that he should laugh at others. But he can't take it on himself. So when Jerome told him that it was his shirt, he started shouting. He lost his temper and he started shouting on Jerome and told him to go back on the bank to get dressed. He should be more careful. Jerome tried to make him see the fun of the thing, but he could not. George was very dense at seeing a joke sometimes, or perhaps he did not care much about doing to others as he wanted them to do to him. Harry found that really amusing. Now, Jerome tried to make him see the funny side of the things, but George did not listen to him. George did not want to see the funny side of the things. The other thing is, he did not wish to see it deliberately, knowingly. George can be very dense at seeing a joke sometimes. Seeing a joke, who does not understand things, funny things easily. So, but Harry found all the things really amusing. It seemed George had not understood the principle, do to others as you would have others do to you. Now that's the moral of the story. It's not didactic, it's not direct, but it is very subtle, and it's the subplot of the story that do to others as you would have others do to you. That we should behave with others the same way we wish them to behave with us. If we want others to be good with us, we should be good with others. So that's what George did not understand. So that's all in the reading. That's all in the chapter. That's the reading of the text. I hope you have understood it well. Read it yourself. If you have any difficulty, call me or message me. Thank you very much.